Yeah, I hear all these people complaining about the hair design complexes being closed, and it sounds like a hair people problem to me. Oh, hi. Hi, good morning, everybody. Yeah, hair is not a problem for me and my beauty salon being closed, but it's all good. Good morning. Chris Allen, Executive Chef Papa Kona here today. Friday in beautiful Kailua Kona. Once again, let's hashtag this, beatmybackground.com or hashtag beatmybackground, whatever. However you kids do these hashtags, I don't know how to do it, but I've got some yellow fish swimming behind me today. Fantastic. It's just a glorious day in Kona, and it happens to be about 82 degrees as well, so great. So our pancakes for today are going to be a fluffy pancake, which I'm going to try and get a little height to it. We're going to see how high we can get it, but it's more about technique for that. I'm going to actually show you guys how to whip an egg white, which you may sound or think it sounds really simple. It's not. It's actually quite tricky, if you will. Believe it or not, there's actually some little nuances to whipping an egg white that if you don't do it, you're not going to whip egg whites. And I actually have a story about that. I actually had a young child that always attended my cooking camp. She had been going to my cooking camp from the time she was 6 years old until she was about 11. And that was in summer of 2017, I believe, was the last time she was in my class. And every question I'd ask, she would have the answer. She was really, really a sharp little student. And I said, you know, you should go on one of these kids' cooking shows. And she said, yeah, I did. I tried out, but I couldn't make a French macaroon. And I said, well, what's wrong? You couldn't whip your egg whites? And she said, yeah, how did you know? I said, well, I just happen to know these things of the complicated parts of making certain things. I said, well, when you were whipping your egg whites, did you use cream and tartar? Yes, I used cream and tartar. Okay, good. Well, at least you did that. Well, she still couldn't get her eggs together. And the reason why is when she was separating her eggs, that was where her issue went askew. First of all, let's go through the easiest way to how to separate two eggs. You ready? Everyone focus in on this. Pay attention. This is separating two eggs. You ready? Pay attention. Look at that. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's separating two eggs. No, that's not the technique. That's not the technique. So let's get our gloves on. First things first. Always got to glove up. Okay. Grab my gloves. And on they go. So, there's a couple of different ways you can separate, other than the first way I just showed you, an egg white from the yolk. Now, the critical thing that young lady was having happen is when she was separating her eggs, she was separating them all right into the bowl, okay? And what ended up happening is in one of her separations along the way, she picked up some yolk into the white. So how to avoid doing that is you make sure that it's clean, no yolk, and dump into your bowl. Okay? I'll do it one more time. I'm going to crack it. I'm going to break it. Kind of gave myself a tricky little thing to shoot for here. I probably should have gotten something a little bit wider mouth, but that's okay. Here, I'll use this bowl here. Maybe a little bit more room to shoot. Always make sure your bowls are clean of any fat in them. It'll all pick it up and it'll make it tough to do this. So your other way to do it is just like this. You crack your egg and dump it into your hand like so. And just run it between your fingers and kind of let that white just slip out, right? Be careful. You may want to fight temptation to get, my dyslexia sometimes will kick in and I'll throw the yolk into my white and I'll spoil the whole party there. I'll go ahead and do one more. I'll go with 4 yolks today. So if you haven't done your aerobic exercises, today's lesson plan is actually a little bit labor intensive. Okay, make sure that one was clean. That was looking a little sketchy. Okay, very good. So that's all done. Okay, So now, I've got clean egg whites. Now, like I said in the beginning, the young lady said I use cream of tartar. I actually don't use cream of tartar for this. So before I get whipping this, I'm gonna make my initial pancake batter. Now, you guys have been doing this with me long enough now. You know how I feel. You can make a from scratch pancake batter if you like. That's fine. Or you can do what I've already done. I've already brought it to this point with the baking soda, baking flour, the sugar, and everything right in here. Okay. Now I've got a little bit of. Today I'm going to use. This is a half and half today. Sometimes you use buttermilk. Sometimes you use water. Sometimes you can use cream. It doesn't matter. I'm going to just go ahead and add that in. Again, I'm not going to give you guys a measurement. As usual, I know a lot of my former students are saying, typical Chef Chris, never giving us measurements, always just teaching us a technique and a visual. Okay, you can see it right now. It's very shaggy. Not looking where I want it to be. Now, I don't want it to be super to its consistency at this point, because the next phase, this is actually looking good. I'm going to just a touch more, and I think that's perfect. Because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and fold in these egg whites. But first thing before I do that is I got to whip them. Now, whenever you're whipping, what you're really in essence trying to do is see that vibration on the tongs? It's almost like a tuning fork. That vibration is what actually forms the bubbles as well in the tine of this particular whisk, okay? There's all sorts of different kinds of whisks. You can use a balloon whisk for this. It's actually a little bit wider of a head. It's actually really good for getting air into it. So you see how that's coming up? I want to get these almost to a medium to a stiff peak. Now, how do you know what a medium to a stiff peak is, I hear you asking? So when you draw it up, see how I draw it up and the peak just kind of falls into it like that? That would be a good alligator test. Oh yeah, I gotta switch arms. Okay, one more time. Back to this one. See that? Look at that peak. That's probably about a soft peak right now. So if I were to get to a stiff peak, I can pull it up. When I pull it up, it would actually sit. There you go. That's stiff. Nice firm peak. It actually stands up. Okay? Now, here's the critical part, okay? Some recipes will actually call for an egg white to be folded into it. This is what's going to give it a souffle effect, okay? This is protein that's been whipped, so when it coagulates and tightens, it's going to give you a little bit of lift, okay? But when you do work with egg whites, what you're going to do is want to add this in thirds, okay? So I'm adding the first little bit in, and this is what's called the sacrifice. Sacrifice. I'm not going to worry about being gentle with it. I'm just going to be a little bit more aggressive with it and fold that in. Okay, kind of getting that white. I'm not really so worried about popping my bubbles of my yolk on this one. Okay, so the next addition is in. I'm going to add a second addition right in there, like so. Okay, now you want to be gentle. Okay, gentle. Okay, gentle. My wife always used to claim not to be a baker, and she would make a German chocolate cake, and this was a very, very technical piece of that German chocolate cake that she used to make. And I always used to say, you don't like to bake, but you can whip an egg white and build a cake with this as the structure. That's real baking. This is real baking here. Okay, real technique based. I'm going to be very gentle with this last addition. I don't want any big fluffy parts of the white too much. I'm trying to get them all incorporated in there. Okay? But I'm trying to keep that integrity alive of those bubbles. Okay, so let's go ahead and take our tongue, let's spray it. I hear you yelling at me in the background. Spray it. So I'm going to go ahead and try and ladle this on right here. Okay, see how thick those guys get. So you'll notice that your recipe called for baking powder. Okay, baking powder. Baking powder is a leavener, and I know I've discussed this in the past. Baking powder is double acting, okay, which means there's two things that make it have its chemical reaction. One is heat, and the second one is moisture, okay? Its cousin, baking soda, okay, it requires an acid to have that chemical reaction. So an acid could be any kind of citrus juice. Coffee is a great activator for baking soda, okay? Vinegar in a pinch. If a recipe actually calls for buttermilk and you don't have any buttermilk on hand, don't worry, it's all good. Take a little vinegar, a little lemon juice, put it right into regular milk, and voila, buttermilk, okay? Just like that, very simple. That's actually called what's clabbered milk. It's called a clabbered milk. Just a quick shortcut to make your own buttermilk, if you will. So I'm going to try and get those puffing up. Now I don't have this on a super high heat. I'm going to let these go a little bit. I want to get a little bit of lift. I've got it at about 325. I'm going to put it up just a skosh now that it kind of set. I'm going to raise it up to about 350. I want that base to set. So what we'll do is we'll turn our attention to making our red velvet pancake batter real quick, okay? So I've got most of the ingredients in here with the cocoa powder, okay? I'm going to just do a little short batch. I actually have some already done through the magic of TV, but don't tell anyone at home that I already have some done, okay? Shh, shh, shh. Okay, so I've got that there, and I have my liquid right here. I'm going to go ahead and just make my little bit of batter. Again, I'm not beating the heck out of it. I'm being kind of gentle.
What are the special ingredients in this?
This is cocoa. So one of the things that makes red velvet cake, believe it or not, a red velvet cake is the addition of cocoa powder to the mix. Okay. So that's fine right there. So now we have our other star show today. Red food coloring. Okay, red food coloring. Pretty simple. Again, fun with the kids. I'm going to go ahead and squirt some of that in. How much? This is one of those things again. You wanna just eyeball it to what you like, okay? So I've got a little bit of dope batter here. I'm going to just go ahead and marry some of my earlier batter to this. Voila. I shouldn't have worn a white shirt today, knowing me. I don't know why I wore a white shirt. My wife is probably saying right now, great, I'm going to get out the spray and wash for when he gets home. So he's going to have red all over the place. Only a little bit right in front of me so far. Not bad. Okay, so you look at how nice and red that batter is. Okay, so that's ready to go. Our red velvet pancake batter's all set and ready. What do you think? A little bit more red? I'm going to go with a little bit more red. So again, you guys saw how much I measured. It's all about feel, guys. Maybe you don't want a red velvet pancake. Maybe you want a pink velvet pancake. Okay? Then you add less red. That'll make it pink. Now take a look at my pancakes now. See how nice and high and thick they are? They're nice thick pancakes. Definitely thicker than normal. Okay? So this is great. That pancake batter is ready. So let's turn our attention to making the frosting or the glaze of these red velvet pancakes, if you will. So I have some soft Philly cream cheese, okay? Rather than getting the hardened blocks at the market, guys, save yourself the headache and go ahead and get the soft. It just makes life so much easier on you. So I'm going to add in a little bit of that. That was probably about, again, there's about a cup of cream cheese. I'm not going to really be too worried about measurements at this point. Again, because I'm going to go for taste and consistency. I have some powdered sugar here in my handy dandy powdered sugar container. So I'm going to add it about 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. I like mine a little bit on the sweet side. Now, if you notice, I have 2 browns here of pretty equal consistency. Now, when you're cooking, sometimes it's very easy to get your brain a little bit oizaboodle and forget which is which. So that's the vanilla. Okay, that's the vanilla there. That's what I'm going to go ahead and add in here. I'm going to add in about a teaspoon. Okay, I like mine to lean towards a little bit more vanilla EE. Is vanilla EE a word? Vanilla EE a word? Vanilla E? Vanilla E? Okay, lots of vanilla. I like mine vanilla. Now, see the thickness of it right now? It's a little thick. I want this actually to be a little bit more like a thicker syrup, if you will. Okay? A little bit more of a thicker syrup. What I am going to do right now, though, is I am going to taste where the flavors are. So, heavy to the cream cheese side, not enough sweet. I'm going to go ahead and add in another 2 of these. And not enough vanilla E. What's that?
How are your fluffy pancakes?
They're good. I actually turned the temperature down quite a bit. But let's check them anyway. Let's check them out. Oh yeah. Break. 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 Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful. A little height to them. See that? Not quite such a flat pancake. Okay. Oh yeah. There we go. That's a pretty good consistency. I got some of that vanilla worked in there. Now, a couple of things. I've already used this side of the spoon. Okay, if you're using spoons at home, you don't have to double dip. Use the back side. Little trick. There we go. Still want it a little bit sweeter. And now I'm going to just add in a little bit of this half and half. I just want to thin it down just a touch. Just a touch. Once this gets done, I'll be ready for the next phase. Let's check our consistency. Not quite where I want it to be. I want it a little bit more runny. Viscosity. Again, am I measuring, kids? Am I measuring? No, I'm not measuring. I'm eyeballing. I'm getting it to where I like it to be consistency-wise. Now, some of you may have wanted to stop at that point where it's thicker and done your pancakes more in a layer, where you do it almost like a Oreo cookie, if you will, where you do a layer of pancake, layer of frosting, layer of pancake, layer of frosting, layer of pancake, layer of frosting, and so on and so on. I'm going to do mine the drippy part over the top. I'm going to go with that as mine. And again, it's still not in the consistency. I want to be able to draw a line with it, basically. So I did mention the little yellow fish out back behind me here, our little yellow tangs. It's really been quite amazing here in Hawaii and Big Island. I actually took a walk along the shore the other day and was noticing in the water, life is really, without human interaction here on Big Island, the life is really coming up. The sea urchin population is just blowing up without any humans walking over their little houses. So they're really thriving. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off my pancakes right now, my little fluffers. So get a close-up of that thickness there. That's pretty decent thickness. Okay, it's not total sky high, but definitely a funner, thicker pancake, if you will. So for that, today's syrup concoction is going to be, I've got myself my maple syrup, of course. And today we're going to go with a little bit of this strawberry puree. Okay? I think last week I did a lilikoi puree or a passion fruit puree. Go ahead and do strawberry today. Strawberry maple syrup. I think the theme should have been red today too. This one I'll taste. Very good. I'll go ahead and hit it with a little powdered sugar, even though it's just going to evaporate. Yeah, it's just going to evaporate in. It's okay. It's fun to see it snow here in Hawaii. So there's the fluffy pancakes right there, guys. Goes right here to the side. Get rid of this. So let's turn our attentions really quickly to our red velvet, guys. So go ahead and get my station cleaned off here, ready to go. Go ahead and spray. So I'm going to try and do a three-tiered pancake today. So the first one I'm going to do is going to be a little bit smaller. Now I want to turn down the heat a little bit more. I don't want to have a whole lot of caramelization. I don't want the brown to show through quite as much. I'm going to go this one a little bit bigger. And biggest. So yes, I turned down the heat to about 325. And again, what I'm going to be looking for is again, I'm not going to tell you, you put it onto your skillet and you cook it for 15 minutes. No. What we're looking for is visual cues. I'm looking for bubbles to be coming up around the edges, okay? Seeing those bubbles lick up through the center. That's critical to this being done, okay? That's what's critical to this being done. And again, since I turned the heat down a little bit, it's going to give me a little bit more time. While that's happening, let's go ahead and wipe down the station, and I'll go ahead and get ready for our presentation of this. Very good. Check our sauce. Make sure our consistency is right. I'm probably going to be able to make that work. If I had a squirt bottle, I would probably squirt bottle it right onto it. But it's all good. We'll make it happen anyway. Good. See the bubbles on the little guy right here? It's actually just starting to bubble up and percolate through. They're starting to percolate through. See those little scrubbing bubbles? That's great. Pop, bloop, bloop. You have to make the noise. It's mandatory to make the noise. I'll flip this one. Oh, terrible flip. Terrible flip. That's okay. But you can see that beautiful red velvet color. Yeah? See the beautiful red velvet color on that? He's looking good. I'll go ahead and flip him too. Beautiful. And then door number one. He probably is going to need to cook just a second longer. Just a second longer. But you see those bubbles all popping through there. Just kind of popping up, popping through. That's telling you that he's doing good. Okay? Let's give that another sec. Oh, get under there. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful bright red color. Okay? Now again, if you were to take off some of this color, not put so much red in, again, it's going to lean more towards the pink color. You want to do those for Valentine's Day for your love of your life? Then I say go for it. Make it for the love of your life. Nothing better than a heart-shaped red pancake with this beautiful cream cheese frosting right on top. And I think I saved a little bit of my strawberry syrup. I might as well kick it up one more level, yeah? I can't say kick it up a notch, otherwise I have to pay Emerald a royalty. I think I think he trademarked BAM and Kick It Up a Notch. So I'm going to trademark Golden Brown and Delicious right now. So anybody uses Golden Brown and Delicious on TV, I'm going to sue you. Wouldn't that be great? I have been using Golden Brown and Delicious for a lot longer than anybody else. I would say it's my term. Because again, I was teaching children so long how to cook, I had to come up with terms that were easy identifiable for them to understand cooking. Okay, and visually speaking, it's easier to learn something visual than just by telling them, you're looking for it to be brown. Well, yeah, great. What exactly does that mean to me, old man? I don't get it. Okay. So I'm going to go a little bit of three-tiered magic here. Look at that. Look at my artistry. God, I'm astonishing myself. So, again, I'm going to try and just stripe this on. Yum. I'll do 3 stripes. This will do one right in the center just for good measure, right? Why not? Why not? I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a little bit of this syrup as well. Oh yeah, that's looking good. So there you have it, kids. A great lead into your weekend, some great pancake fun. Again, get in the kitchen with your children. Don't just let them play video games 24/7 during quarantine or lockdown or whatever we're on. Have some fun with your children in the kitchen. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great place to build that camaraderie with them. So don't forget, hashtag my background's better than your background. Any of you kids out there that know how to trend those things, please, let's get it trending, man. Come on, let's go. So, Papa Kona Restaurant, papakona.com. Check our website for all the happenings here, what's going to be happening coming forward in the future once things start loosening around the island. Our meal service program, our takeaway program, what we're going to be offering to the public is coming right soon. We're hoping to get that rolled out pretty quickly here. So, have a great weekend. Be safe. Chris Allen, Executive Chef, Papa Kona. I am signing off saying mahalo, and we'll see you next Monday, 10 a.m.